Welcome to Catch Outdoors. I'm your host, Captain Rob Modes. This podcast is about living and playing in the Florida Keys, a 125-mile long chain of islands. I cover my favorite sport, fishing, but also all the many things to see and do down here in the Keys. Catch Outdoors is hosted by Spotify and also brought to you by your favorite podcast networks. So kick back and relax with me in the Keys. This week's episode of Catch Outdoors is number 141. Hello all. Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on when you've tuned into the podcast. I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, fairly late. Thanks again to all the listeners, old and new. The listener numbers are climbing, and they climbed again this past week. Please tell a friend. Thank you. I really appreciate it. The more the merrier. Fished this week with a good friend of mine, also an old friend of mine. I'm just kidding, Steve. Actually, he might be the youngest in the close group that we have. It's been hanging together since the days in the Keys back down in the 90s. Yay, Steve. Yeah, you may be the kid. I'm not real sure. I think you might be. His nickname's Magic. Those of you that listen to my radio show over the years may recognize that name. He was a part of the show. And like I said, we did a fishing trip, but I'll cover more of that coming up shortly. Weather, as I mentioned last week, summer is here in the Keys. The daily rain seems to be starting back up. Don't worry about it if you haven't visited here recently or ever. It's normal for us to have morning showers or storms, and then it clears. And then it starts again late in the afternoon, typically. So sometimes it could be both times a day, very early and later. And other times we may not get any. So, but I guess what I should say for those of you that haven't visited, if it starts up, there's a good chance it's going to stop. It's pretty rare for us to get a day of rain, although some of us wish we could. That would be tropical weather, so that's not what we wish for. The forecast looks really pretty good this week. A bit breezy, not too bad, and the rain chances will be dropping some all week. So they're up a little bit today and tomorrow into Monday, but as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it should be falling down just a little bit. Hurricane season's officially here. Started on June 1st and runs through November. We've been warned that this might be a very busy one. If you're traveling this way in the summer months, please stay abreast of the forecast. You don't want to be part of the evacuation right after you arrive. It's not cool. The moon is now waning crescent. Yep, that's what stage it's in, waning crescent. What that means is it's getting littler and going to dark. It's a scientific way of saying the fishing in the backcountry will get a little tougher. Water doesn't move too well when the moon is halfway through the lunar cycle until the new moon hits, of course, and that's June 6th, so we're not that far away. Once we get within a day or two of June 6th, then June 6th itself, and then a couple days on the other side, the water will move pretty well. The water doesn't ever really move quite as well on the new moon as it does on a full, but it will certainly help. So looking forward to that. I think that covers that part. We'll get to fishing here in a second. Here's some news from the Keys. I typically do this each and every week. Saturday red tide report showed no red tide statewide once again. Yay. Water quality's been very good down this way with just a bit of grass, some seaweed debris in the water. I noticed that there hasn't been much sargassum floating out in the ocean or in the inlets. We get sargassum all the way back here in Largo Sound. We're very tied. What's the word for it? We get tides. We get big tides. We have two inlets that come right into Largo Sound. One coming through Pennycamp Park and one coming off of Carries Forward Light. And they pour right into Key Largo. And if there's any sargassum or any strange weed out there in the ocean, we will get it. And especially if the wind starts to blow easterly. But I haven't seen any yet, so that's pretty good. We've gotten the usual turtle grass and the usual bottom grass that comes this time of year. But all in all, I'd say for as far as the grasses are concerned, it's not even. I don't remember it being as bad as it was last year by this time. My new book, What I Know About Fishing the Florida Keys, is at the printer. Yay! Oh my gosh, I got it over the week. I proofed it, went through the whole thing, the cover and all the book, and then it's out to the printer. So finally, I'll keep you posted when I get a firmed up release date. Should be within the next few weeks. Fingers crossed. I think I mentioned this last week, but I'm not sure because I don't have my notes from last week. But just in case, I'm going to do this. The price of the new book is going to be $34.95 because of much higher printing cost. I've only ordered 100 copies for the first run. Those can be bought on my website only and will be signed. Shipping is extra this time around. Damned inflation. The website is catchyOutdoors.com. Go to page 4 and you can order the books there. Now, keep in mind, you will still be able to order them on Amazon and Kindle. And for those of you that are Prime, if you order Amazon, you're not going to get charged shipping, which is kind of cool. But keep in mind, they print the books themselves. They do not come from our first run printer. So they're not as pretty, I'll confess. The first run printer books are glossy, and I do it on purpose because I use a lot of color photography in it, and I want it to show up real nice. Amazon uses more of a matte, so you don't see it quite the same as you do on an original copy. Now, I may order more copies after the first 100 are sold. That remains to be seen. Again, the print prices are so high now. It's just absolutely ridiculous. More news. June edition of the Coastal Angler magazine is out. I now have a monthly article in the Keys edition, so pick it up if you get a chance. It's also available online. See that? That's a freebie. You know, if you're down here in the Keys or in lower Miami, southern Miami, and down in Homestead in that area, they bring it right into the tackle shops down here in this area. So you can grab it when you walk into a tackle shop. My home recording studio is coming right along with some new hardware added, and I'm getting the sound, what I like to call just right. Hopefully you'll notice that the buzzing sound from last week, sorry about that, is gone. I've had a little spat of it every now and then, but I know what it is. I know what's causing it, so I'm able to fix that. Turned out I had a router in the room here. I won't mention names. Bad company. They're not really a bad company. They're very good, actually. But unfortunately, it's not, I don't know, they just didn't insulate it as well as some of the other routers that I've gotten in the past, and it was emitting this wonderful little zzz background sound. So hopefully it's gone now. I'm hoping. It's those little things that sneak up on you when you're doing this kind of stuff. I was rearranging the room and putting stuff all over, and that little dude was sitting a little too close to my recording stuff, so... And on that note, no pun intended, I recently spent some time in Billy D's recording studio here in Key Largo, laying down the vocal tracks for my new song. We've narrowed the title down to 3 possibilities. I'm just calling it Coming Soon. Actually, it's coming real soon now. We got a lot done yesterday and today. So seriously, the title is either Free Your Mind or Setting Sun. I'm leaning with the Setting Sun. I think it kind of matches what's going on with that song, and I don't want to get too deep into it till it's out and let y'all listen to it, but we all get older. There's a hint. Here's a reminder for Keys folks: when a storm forces Keys residents to leave the area due to evacuation, re-entry to the island chain when it's deemed safe requires a resident re-entry sticker. The colored badge, which goes on the lower corner of the driver's side window, denotes where a Monroe County resident lives. All the while, of course, it basically lets sheriff's deputies manning the checkpoints know that you're legit, and they'll let you through to get back to your house or to your business. These stickers can be obtained by local residents at the Monroe County Tax Collector's Office. I have not done that. I think I might run over tomorrow and get that done. Fishing report. As mentioned earlier in the podcast, and my friend Steve, our friend, Jill and I was both our friend Steve, came down from Fort Myers for a couple of days to visit and get some fishing in. Steve and I hit the water he came down Thursday night. We hit the water on Friday, just before a very late season cold front arrives. Now, tongue is firmly in cheek. It technically was a cold front. and it made it through here, which is just mind-blowing. It lowered the temperature probably 5 degrees. What it really helped do is it lowered the humidity, which made things feel better. Still sunny, quite warm, but lower humidity, so you didn't sweat yourself to death. And it turned on the breeze, of course. We got a little breezy, not too bad for in the backcountry. And we did pretty well. We really did. We got it very early. Boat was in the water by 6:45, and we were gone. So it was right as the sun was coming up. Catches included lots of cudas. This time they were much, much bigger, which I was really pleased to see. That instead of those little teeny things, those little 8, 9, 10-inch little rascals, these things were closer to 2 feet or 24 inches to maybe, I'll do a fisherman's measurement, say 30 on one of them. Steve got a really nice one. Some really good jacks, mangrove snapper, some nice mangrove snapper, and one very nice sea trout caught by Steve. All were caught on jig heads and soft plastics, and all were released. I wasn't in the mood to clean, and fortunately Steve didn't care because we were all going to go out to dinner at the fish house. Yay! Yes, Steve was kind enough to take us out to dinner at the fish house in Key Largo. It's really hard to beat that place for fresh fish. I'd say nearly impossible. Steve had the whole fried yellowtail snapper. Looked really good. Some people freak out when they see a whole fish on the plate fried, but I personally love it, and it lets you pick every bit of meat off the thing, so that's kind of cool. Janelle went for the Matacumbe yellowtail. I believe that is one of her favorite dishes. And I had a nice slab of grilled swordfish. Yum, yum. Fresh, local swordfish. Oh, my goodness, that was good. I also want to thank Steve for the bottle of Zaya. Now, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Z-A-Y-A. Zaya is the way I would say it. It's Grand Reserve 16-year-old rum from Trinidad and Tobago. It was delicious. And I'll be sipping on this for the coming week as well, Steve. I told you could take it home with you. He said, no, it's for you. You keep it. So I'm like, oh, gee, okay, well. I love getting out one of those bourbon glasses, putting one of those nice ice balls, if you know what they are, the things you can get. They're coming up. You can get a mold that makes, honest to God, balls that are about the size of pool set, cue ball, and drop it in there. And what happens is when you use that instead of ice cubes, the ball melts a lot slower, so it doesn't start to filter out the taste of the rum and put too much water in the glass. See, I love teaching moments. Here's one more reminder for you. The CCA Florida Star Tournament, this is fishing related, began on May 25th. This is a months-long tourney that runs through September the 2nd. There are huge prizes. And when I say huge, I mean big, like huge boats, like a Contender, Ford trucks, things like that. And available to most people in many, many different categories as well. Seriously, every angler has a chance of winning a prize. Star will offer tagged redfish division, tagged dolphin division, an inshore and offshore division, native watercraft kayak division, Realtree youth scholarship division, power pole conservation division. That particular one, you can enter almost any fish into that one. And the Costa Sunglasses Kick Plastic Trash Division. Yes, you can collect trash, get a bucket full, take a picture, and you have entered the trash division, which I think is really cool. Things you need to do. If you don't have a CCA membership, do that first. Then register for the tourney, get the app, get the official measuring tape, and fish. Fish a lot. It's a cumulative type thing. The big prizes are in the dolphin and in the redfish. If you get a tag and you do follow all the rules, and you get that tag turned in, that's the one where you get to select one of 5 huge prizes. And it's first come, first serve. So the first person to turn in a tag gets their choice of the 5. So that's how it works. The rest of the things are money prizes for like scholarships, and a lot of them are cumulative. I've always had trouble with that word. You catch as many fish as you can, and then there's a drawing where they draw out of. So if you get like 19 trout, then you've entered 19 times instead of 1 trout. So it kind of works that way. So it helps increase your odds pretty dramatically that you might win something the more you fish and the more you post of what you've caught. You can get all the information about how the tourney works by going to ccaflstar.com. That's ccaflstar.com. And you can also visit their Facebook page. Lots of info on the Facebook page. Last but not least, and also boating, fishing related, I finally bit the bullet and joined the Safe Harbor Angling House in Islamorada. It's a club, yes. The location is the old Matacumbe Marina where Janelle and I kept our skiff back in the 90s. To say it's somewhat sentimental would be an understatement. I've been toying with this since we moved here and finally went over and talked to the folks there, specifically to Wayne. Wayne, thank you so much for all the information. It was great. And decided it was time to do it. Not only do you launch boats there, it's got a ramp. They have storage if you need it. They also have a swimming pool, a clubhouse. They have gatherings. They have a beautiful tiki bar. So I'm like, why not? We aren't going to go down to Islamorada every time to fish. Obviously, we have a ramp in the neighborhood that covers a great deal of, say, from Key Largo down to Tavernier, but we both want to get back down into the Islamorada area, and that's quite a bit of a run from up here in a skiff. And so we thought it'd be a good idea to do this and get a little closer because we both want to go out to Indian Key and do some of the old things that we did way back when, plus explore the waters that we learned to fish almost 30 years ago. So looking forward to that. And obviously, there will be many more adventures and water stories in the future for the podcast. So there you go. This is going to be a short one again today. Oh, it's kind of funny. When I go over 30 minutes, the people go, "Oh, that was good, but it's okay if you do 20." Well, all right, whatever. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to jump right into good old useless information.
And now, from the original book of useless information.
You are a reject! You are useless! You can get a job down here cleaning toilets!
Here's your host, Captain Rob Modies.
Well, he swears up and down he's useless, but
he might be all right eventually, but completely useless.
With useless information.
And here we go. Once again. During his entire lifetime, Herman Melville's timeless classic of the sea, Moby Dick, only sold 50 copies. Number 2, Keeping Warm with an Axe, is the title of a real how-to book. Keeping Warm with an Axe. I suspect that's cutting firewood. At least I hope that's what it's about. People in Iceland read more books per capita than any other people in the world. I'm going to make sure my books are available there. Is it because it's cold? I wonder why. During the 18th century, books that were considered offensive were sometimes punished by being whipped. Now, how in the hell do you whip a book? I don't get it. And there you go. Until next week. Jeez, I don't know. I'm gonna try to do better. Okay. So before I go, I always throw this at the end here. Some last words. Spend some time at the beach and on the water. I honestly can't believe how many Floridians I've met over the years that don't do much of either one. What a travesty. People spend thousands of dollars to travel down here for a week to go to the beach. And you've probably got it near your backyard, so do it. You can also visit a local county or state park, and if you really want to see something amazing, visit the Everglades National Park. It is an incredible place. It's worth it. It really is. Take care, and I'll talk to you all next week. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed listening, please tell a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The Facebook page is Catchy Outdoors. The website is catchyoutdoors.com, where you can find all the previous podcasts and the schedule of what's to come. Until next time, get outdoors and enjoy.